Woo, woo, woo. Hey guys, so I know you're probably expecting a Gribb's Tales, but it's October half term here in the UK, and so we're taking a little break for the week. So Gribb's here with me. We thought it'd be a good idea to introduce you properly to Gribb and tell you a bit about how he was made, and yeah, so Gribb was designed as a tabletop puppet. Now, tabletop puppets are, it just means that in order to use them best because of their height, you'd do them on a table like this. They're too short to put on the floor, and you don't operate them from above. So, tabletop puppet is just performing them on a table. He's also a rod puppet, and that means his main control is this rod. Now, I hope you don't mind, Gribb, I'm going to get you naked. Sorry, I just want to show you how I made him. So, I made him at Norwich Puppet Theatre last year. They were doing an adult puppet making course where they taught us how to make these kinds of puppets using professional techniques that have been used since ancient China and things. So it was a really, really good course, and I'm forever grateful to them. So you might be a bit surprised that he doesn't really have a body underneath here. I made his clothes, by the way. But so as you can see, his body is made up of rings that are then held together with straight pieces of wire. This is all wire. This is really sturdy stuff. And then we wrapped the wire in masking tape and a little bit of twine around the joints. So it's incredibly sturdy, but hugely lightweight. So I'm going to see if I can get his arm out. Oh, by the way, let's quickly look at the hands. So, I know a lot of you ask why I don't have longer arm rods. It's literally what was available in my house. So this is just a normal skewer, but I like it because it has an actual handle on it, like that. I'll show you. Like that. So it's not just a stick, but it's actually a sturdy bit of wood. And that's just held onto his hand by an elastic band, so he can have quite a lot of movement there. So I'm just going to take that off so I can show you his arm. Okay, so took me quite a long time to make all of this, but so the course lasted 8 weeks, and so yeah, he took 8 weeks to make, bless him. And oh, hang on. But I loved every minute of the course. It was so valuable. So here we go. You get to see a little bit more of him now. So his arms, they are attached to a piece of rope that go all the way around his back here. I made his back like this. It was kind of like a hunchback, because I wanted him to have a lovely collar and I wanted him to look a bit hunched over. So most normal puppets wouldn't have a raised back like this. They'd probably come round at a more natural height, but I gave him a bit of a hunchback. So the rope goes round there, and it's not one long piece of rope. So this rope ends about here, and then it's stuck inside this dowel, which we sanded off, and that makes his upper arm, and his elbow and his lower arm again is a little piece of rope that's then stuck in there and in there with strong glue. And then again for his wrist, another little piece of rope, and his hands are actually a piece of wood. You can show that, like that. And what I did was I cut out some leather. This is all leather. Don't know if you can see that in the light. And I sewed it together with some thread, and on the inside of the hand I actually put some flower arranging wire, so you can actually bend his fingers like that so he can point, and they're posable fingers, because I thought that was important. Let's move on to the head. So the head here, you've got this piece of leather, it's leather as well, which holds the rod in place. Now the rod is made up of 2 short pieces of dowel, well actually 1 short piece of dowel and a really long piece of dowel. This bit, you can see there, that goes all the way to the top, and that's why it's screwed in at the top, so it's really secure. So that's stuck in all the way up the neck, and then a little dowel fixes the 2 between the leather disc, and it makes his neck really secure and move quite realistically, and it's not going to fall through. Right, let's move on to the legs. Now I've given him a loincloth, so I'll but you can see clearly his body. It's all separate rings connected with the straight pieces of wire, and then his body ends with 1 piece just across here, and then I wrapped it in a lot of masking tape, and then the legs are just bits of rope hung from this section, and the legs are made in exactly the same way as the arms. The only difference is with the knees, because we wanted a realistic knee bent, instead of rope, which would mean that it would flop all over the place, got another little piece of leather and stuck it on the back of here so it can bend like a good knee. And then the feet are actually carved out of wood, and yeah, I was really proud of the feet actually. But again, like the wrist, it's just a little piece of rope, so he has movable ankle. Now with this leg, I actually stuck the foot on wrong, so he has a bit of a weird leg where his foot sticks up to the side, but I like to think that's character. So the head. Now the head is the fun bit. Get you really close in here. So I'm going to put up some photos around about now of the process of making the head. So the head started off as a clay sculpture, which so I designed it on paper, got all the measurements out, then I sculpted what I wanted the head to look like, and it wasn't exactly the same as this, but I'll explain why in a minute. Then I had to separate the head in half with aluminium or tin all the way round, and then cast 1 half of the mould with plaster of Paris, and then turn it over, cast the other side. So then I should have had 2 identical moulds to then stick together. Once the mould was set, we then papier-mâché'd the mould from the inside out. So, was it from the outside in? Outside in, I think. See, the top layer you do first, and that's made out of a really, that's just made of newspaper. Just lots of white stuff, and just using PVA glue or flour mixed with water. But then each layer you move on to a slightly thicker paper. So the top layer is quite just normal newspaper. The middle is a slightly thicker paper, like arty kind of paper. And then in the middle, the top layer, but the bottom layer of what you can see here, is really thick brown natural fibre paper. And that made it rock hard, really solid. As solid as wood, but a lot lighter, because the problem with puppetry is that you're not just trying to make something that looks good, you're trying to make something that works and that's comfortable to use. So that's why everything needs to be super lightweight. Otherwise, your puppeteer is going to get exhausted really quickly. So he still has like some weight to it, but I think that's mainly the dowel rod that goes all the way through again. So yes, that's his head. Now the ears, I'm going to take this one off because it fell off the other day because the glue ran out, but I just wanted to show you. So he's currently being used with blue tack, but until I can get some more glue. As you can see, so this was the colour of the head before I painted it. I couldn't include the ears on the sculpture when I was moulding it because the ears would be too fragile and they'd probably snap off. So to fix that, with more leather, I do love leather, I made these ears, and I stuck them together and made them how I wanted, and then with some strong glue stuck them where I wanted, and he had these lovely ears. So this one is still stuck on. This is how it should look. But I quite liked the glue because it turned a little bit yellow, so it looks like he's got a bit of earwax, which I'm quite happy about. But yeah, as I said, this one fell off. I had to do an emergency repair. So yeah, you can make these puppets with literally things you have lying around the house. So I mean, you would have to get wire, and usually quite a thick gauge wire, just to make sure it's nice and sturdy, because that is not going to bend at all if I squeeze it. It has a little bit of give, but it's not going to collapse anytime soon. So yeah, that's how I made Gribb, and I want to make more like him because I love him. I love these types of puppets because they're just so simple. You just literally hold it like that and you can have all of this realistic movement, and he's quite a character and I love him so much. And then with the hands, and obviously I could use this, but this is why I used these rods instead, just to give me a bit more distance and a bit more options of how to move him. So yeah, that's Gribb. I hope you enjoyed learning about him. So just in case you guys don't know, one of the reasons why I've made this YouTube channel is because I want to apply to the UEA to do a Masters in Creative Entrepreneurship. Now, that basically is a business course specifically tailored to artists. So instead of learning all about profit margins and shareholders, you learn about how to keep doing what you love and how to sell it to people. So I'm hoping to get in for next September. The issue I have is that I need to show a portfolio of my work. So I have photos and things for the past 10 years, but I wanted to show some video evidence of my work, and this is why I created the YouTube channel, to show you guys what I'm doing, to hopefully get some of you to support me financially, so that I can make more things and, you know, enact my dream of becoming a puppeteer and being paid for it. So, I mean, thank you to my 2 patrons currently, because you are making that dream a reality with your small donation every month. It means that I am actually earning money for being a puppeteer. So I love you guys so much for doing that. If you want to be one of my patrons and to help, then the link's in the description. I'll also put a little card up here. But yeah, so if you like this kind of thing, of me showing you behind the scenes and talking a bit about puppets and where they come from, and the differences between the types of puppets, because actually it's a huge amount of differences in every puppet you see, in every design, in every little I can talk about it for hours. So if you want to see more like this, please let me know in the comments. You can also reach me on Facebook and Twitter. I'll put those links in the description. And yes, please click subscribe over here in this little bubble here. If you want to see more videos, there's going to be here and here. And yeah, take it easy guys. See you next week.